This week is challenging terrain as we fight the good fight in the dark and the rain. You need stone balls to operate in this domain, to carry the load like our deliveries by train. And something I'll never entertain and think it's a shame is people in this industry celebrating other people's pain. I'm Daniel and it's Ashville Weekly episode 208. It's a rainy Monday morning and I'm outside the yard. The time is 5:03 a.m. I would say the skies of London are looking grey, but I can't see them yet because it's the dark of the night or the morning, whatever your preference. We've got a lot of work on today, but I feel that some of it may get cancelled, the larger concrete pours. And I'm gonna have to open the gate because some of the lads are arriving. Yeah, what a time to not be able to find your key. Which key is it, man? You know, they say you can tell someone's responsibility by the bunch of their keys. This is the keys just for the yard. Come on, man, where is this? Oh, wow, that's a big puddle, isn't it? Whoa, that's deep. This is not good. There was an amber warning for rain, but I didn't expect it to be this bad. I just heard some thunder. Haven't seen any lightning. There's definitely thunder. On the way in, listening to the Viking series soundtrack, end of season 2, when Ragnar Lothbrok killed King Horik and became king. If you know, you know. Trying to get the keys in the door, not a problem outside the office. Yeah. Scaffold roof there. Shout out Stella Scaffold. And all is about to change with the trusty Ashville premium golf umbrella. Nice. Terry said he heard on the radio this morning that we had a month's worth of rain yesterday alone. That would explain why our perfectly good car park is flooded. The lads, if they jump out the car, put their work boots on and then reverse in, then as they walk out, they won't have wet feet and they won't destroy their personal shoes. Just looking at the inside of the cab again. Ashville, Pulp Fiction style. Ben off to deliver some track ballast that we loaded up on Friday evening of last week. Click here to watch that video. So the car park hasn't survived well. However, it's a month worth of rain and all the roads are flooded. I had hoped the car park would be able to withstand some flooding, but if the public highway can't handle it, I guess I was expecting too much from our temporary car park with hard standing. It was 70 meters of concrete and now it's all the way down at 40. We booked cement so we could be prepared. We got 23 ton in there at the moment and we've got 30 ton on the way. It's around a 54 ton silo, but if 4 of the lorries can pour and come back and load cement, then we should be fine. I'm not going to cancel the cement because it's better to actually have the cement in the tank ready when those pours do come back on. Back up in the top yard, just trying to make a plan to continue to dismantle these bays and to begin to clean up the ground. But in this type of weather, it is extremely challenging. Everything you do, you're getting drenched and you're in puddles the entire time. And in some of the puddles, you can't actually see what's in there. The lads will continue, of course, in my absence, and I'm going to head now to the refurbishment project. The refurbishment project.
Big client meeting and decisions are going to be made. We thought we had the final layout for the living area. However, the client sent through this render showing a second fireplace located here. Now the fireplace is confirmed 100%. That is the reason we haven't closed the ceiling in this area, because we need to try to line the television up. There are two choices: either be symmetrical with the TV here and the TV here, and then on the other side, when you're at the dining table, it is not symmetrical, or on the dining table side, the TV will be symmetrical, and then the two TVs here will not be symmetrical. Something else in their design, this wall isn't here. However, we do need this steel. We can remove this side and that side and make it completely open, but we will need to encase this steel. It is supporting a massive steel, what is taking the weight from the first floor above. Kitchen ceiling is closed. A very long time ago when I stood in this area, I showed you how the air conditioning would circulate. Two on each side, there'll be directional grills that will push the air around the room. I think it's this way. The kitchen is being manufactured as we speak, but the question in the client meeting today is confirming the stone. Within a render, things look fantastic, but in real life, when that translates into a stone slab, which has come out of a quarry. So here are a couple of slabs. You need to get the client to just approve 100% just to manage expectations. So we could make the large ball, which is going to support the kitchen worktop. Also, within the renders, there's an area of cabinetry. Now, in the original plans, that wasn't going to be there. So I need to understand, is the cabinetry here from the render as an architect wanted to incorporate that for visual effect, or are we actually building this? Because if we are, then it's going to take away from the kitchen space, and also we're going to have to do away with the glass balustrade which was going to be here. It's not a problem, but we just need to know as we begin to close everything up and move on to the next sequence of works. In the dining area, we're just closing up the ceiling. We have a champagne display wall going here. We just need them to confirm. Once they let us know, we'll get the production on that started as well. Lads have made these for the yard. So this acts like a sleeve and sits on top of my lovely 6-meter tubes. These are supports, and the holes which have been drilled on either side, this is where we are going to fix the lights. It means the lights can either face forwards, backwards, sideways, so you have some adjustment with them. We have 4 in total, but there are another 2 we're going to build because in some sections there are going to be more than 2 floodlights. Just as I finished talking here, the client arrived. We've had the client meeting, which went very well. They have made some decisions, which I'll share with you next time, because we just need to draw some of them up and present them for the 100% approval. I was about to come over to the plumbing area. Plumbing is going extremely well. Our 2 boilers, hot water goes into this, goes here, into the pump, and then up to the underfloor heating and the water cylinders. This is our return. Return comes in, into here. Return comes up this way and splits, and these returns go into each boiler. The same way you see Simon on the weighbridge, and it's a work of art, the same way Chris is with the plumbing. Look at his fantastic pipework everywhere. I told you last week, the LH60, we had 12 months left to pay on it and then we would own it outright. Well, I did some investigating and the 566 is paid off, the 586 is paid off, and this month on the 28th, the 926 is also paid off. I never thought I'd see the day. And also next month, there are free tippers coming off finance as well. So we're beginning to come to the point where our kit is unencumbered. Now the point is I need new kit. But this time is different because I can now use these assets as the deposit on the next ones, which is newer, and then go again, and hopefully I have less issue with maintenance. I'm very happy about that. I'm gonna now head back to the yard, but of course, the work continues. In the basement, we installed a new staircase within the existing walls. Our staircase is a perfect right angle. Unfortunately, the wall is not. So we're packing any void space with ply. As I mentioned earlier, the two small walls on either side of the structural steel are now coming down. In the utility, we're building out the wall with 4x2 timber to house the plumbing, electrical, and data services. In the snug, it's windowsill time, which we're building from 25mm moisture resistant MDF. As the intersecting points are 22.5 degrees, this is relatively simple. The process is to dry fit the board and make amendments where necessary until we're 100% satisfied with the entire section. Then, as you can see in the living room, we remove all of the prepared MDF sections, cut sections from the 60mm insulation, and fit timber to create a firm fixing point. Terry's off home. Terry, we're dusting. Just gonna analyze the drainage in the car park. So it has improved somewhat. It is draining away. The base is still good. It's definitely not perfect, and it's not a concreted NCP, but I would say for the work we've put into it, it drained away well enough. It has been a chaotic and busy day in and out the yard, plenty happening, loads of concrete got cancelled. It's been moved to tomorrow and Wednesday. The time is 6:44 p.m. tomorrow morning. At roughly 4:45, we go again. It's Tuesday morning and I'm in the yard. Because I think I'm Batman, I've got myself a tactical torch. Yes. Like that kid in Sixth Sense who sees dead people. Updates. The Volvo volumetric in the workshop with the engine gone, I think we're going to pull the engine this week, and the other one should arrive early next week, and we'll begin to take the bits off one engine and put them onto the other and compare them side by side before we use the 926 and drop it in. The trusty forklift. Got a price back from HL Smith. It's £2,350 for the repair and £50 for carriage. But what I've asked them is the cable on top, which is the four-wheel drive cable, if they're going to replace that as part of it. So we should have that by the end of the week also. Regarding the area outside the offices, where our dummy train is going, I haven't started this work yet because the engineer is on annual leave and I need to mark the final height of the rails on the fence. And then we're going to take some ply, screw it onto the fence because the level is actually going to be higher than it is now. Mark the ply, then we know exactly how much type 1 to build up, and we'll do the type 1 in 200mm increments. We'll have to leave about a 1.2 meter gap against the fence because that's going to be the makeshift Ashville train station. Then we'll have the train, which is about 2.7 wide. So in total, the dummy train area will come out by 4 meters here and will go all the way down there. The track specialist that you saw install the main rail line, that'll take about 2 days. The more difficult work is going to be dropping the train onto those tracks. We're going to have to remove some of these barriers so the vehicle with the train can line up straight here and use the ramp to offload the train onto the track here. The lads are all starting to get in. Going to open up the weighbridge and the offices, and the car park has more or less drained out. Yesterday was a bit of a write-off, but today we go again. Our pump driver doesn't have a job to do first thing this morning, so he's taking the tool that we use to retorque the wheels for calibration. When that's complete, we'll then go with the other one and change it so they can recalibrate that one as well. We're not taking both at the same time because we always need to have one in the yard to ensure that at any time we can retorque wheel nuts. You see the work we've been doing dismantling the old Type 1 bay and trying to clear out the last of the Type 1. What we've realised is there's a build-up of about 600 of Type 1 which has compacted over the years, and once we get over the top of it, it's pretty good Type 1 underneath. Now, you might say to leave it in place, however, all of this material costs money. So the level of the yard has raised significantly with the material. So we're going to have to take that material out and then use another material, which is of course of less value, to backfill the area. Up the top of the yard, organising the tyres, we have a delivery from Donovan Tyres. But this delivery, we've bought ourselves some rims because we had some old ones which are now scrap. So you got to tell us when to stop, yeah? Just because you've been training, I've had you working hard. Now from the other side. I think that's it, mate. We now have some tyres and new rims that we can build up. And now we are going to go out with Tarandeep to a grab job where we need to take out 6 loads of Asdog ballast today. But our cameraman is going to get left stranded at the job, and then he's going to be collected by Maddie.
You see, that was the first code, yeah?
Okay.
That was, do you got
Fine,
that?
yeah.
That one is came up after, yeah?
All right, I'll get it checked out. Appears to be something wrong with the pedal on the 586. I'm gonna give Liebherr a call, just send them the fault codes and see what they think. Hopefully it's very simple and it's just a sensor. Last week, you saw the guys coming in to collect the timber, which we use to create the shuttering to pour the concrete on the track. Well, the remaining bits we've got, We're sending it to a good home. So Ben is going to pull in with the flatbed. We're going to load it up and drop it round to their site. Like that transition. This is the good timber which is left. We're going to keep this. We're going to stack this over in the tire bay area. The timber over there and the timber over here, we have no more use for it and we don't have a home for it. So that's going to go into a 40-yard bin and that's going to get tipped locally. Project we were working at on Saturday, the ground to, sorry, yes, me behind you. No, sorry, not you. Project we were working on Saturday, the ground's got a bit boggy because of all the rain. So they've excavated and they need some material dropped in and they're going to use this roller to flatten it. So Ben's going to get it loaded up now and get round to the job and drop it, because the sooner they can flatten the land, the sooner we can get back in there and start horsing loads out of there. Sorry, Ben, I was talking to camera. Sorry.
Liebherr got back to me on the loading shovel faults and they sent me a drawing and we need number 12. Unfortunately, this part is about 1,200 quid plus VAT. So I know I need it, but I'm just procrastinating. I should just order it, but maybe I'll feel better about spending that money in the morning. Mr. Michael O'Donovan called me and said,
"What happened to your lorry, Dan?"
And I said, "What do you mean?" He said,
"The smashed up one."
"What smashed up one?" He went,
"The picture that's going around. There's a picture."
I said, "What? Send it. It might be an old accident, because our lorries have been in accidents." He sent me over this picture of our lorry in Volvo, and apparently this is the picture that's doing the rounds, which is hilariously funny because our lorry got smashed up. What actually happened is the lorry was up for MOT, and when they went to adjust the headlight, the bracket broke, and they've taken out the entire light to replace it, and it's not in stock yet. So it turns out that our lorry isn't Saturn Volvo smashed up, and all the laughs and jokes were in vain and for no reason. I will never understand that. The way people get joy in seeing other people's lorries or machines damaged, sending round pictures of people's lorries that have turned over. When people sent it to me, I said, "Don't send me that. That could well be my lorry or one of my mates' lorries." I'll never get that, but you know, trying to understand why people do things, well, you'll end up driving yourself mad. The time is 10 minutes past 6 p.m. I am about to watch a version of Ashville Weekly episode 206. Click here to watch that video. And in 12 hours, the train will be here.
An online presence is essential in any business in this day and age. Whether you're a building contractor or developer trying to showcase your completed projects, or a material supplier, a website is essential to showcase your brand, services, and products. But websites can be a daunting task. The programming, the costs, the time. That's where Durable comes in. Durable is an AI website builder specifically designed for entrepreneurs and small businesses. With Durable, you can build a professional website in just 30 seconds without any coding or technical skills. Plus, it offers customer relation management, an invoice builder, and an AI blog builder. And the best part, the starter plan is just £9.50 a month, which includes one free domain name, access to over 10 million stock images, unlimited CRM contacts, and unlimited monthly blog articles. So, if you're ready to get serious about your online presence, click the link in the description and try Durable for free. And when you're ready to publish your website, use the discount code Ashville30 to get 30% off any plan for 3 months. Wednesday morning, and I'm in the yard. The time is 5 a.m. on the dot. Put my full orange on and prepare for the coming of the train, which will be here at 6:12 a.m. The weather hasn't held out like I would have hoped. You saw the new tyres which arrived yesterday, and there are a load of other tyres which have punctures. We have a tyre fitter coming in this morning who's going to attack our stock. The first arrival. I've let everybody know that they need to be in full orange for the coming of the train. It's good practice to be in full orange all the time anyway, but it's not entirely necessary. As long as you're in high vis and boots, if you're going to be using a grinder or cutting, you have gloves and glasses, then that is adequate. Just doing a final walk of the track to ensure there are no obstructions, making sure nothing happened last night, which the shunter will come in and say
It is unsafe for the train.
or anything that will just be a nuisance, like myself. Loading shovels too. LA60 should be fired up any minute. George doing his checks. Morning. Right about now I'm feeling like Forrest Gump in Vietnam. I have the trusty Ashville umbrella, but we got that sideways rain. You know, when him and Bubba are sitting back to back like Danny Glover and Mel Gibson on the cover of Lethal Weapon. And it's not helping me because the rain is coming this way at an angle. I don't know if you can see that. I'm not even gonna know if you can see that until I'm sitting in the edit. No need for the torch when the LH60 is fired up. How are our tracks looking? Look at that, nice and clean. Well done, Flo. Our tracks are looking clean. Had a chat with Flo about his plan for the offload. He's going to start by offloading the wagons at the front when the loco comes in. He's going to try and offload about 5, 6, 7 of them down this end. And when the loco runs round and reconnects at the top, which will then be the front, he's then going to make his way up to the top and he's going to offload that type 1 into the secondary pile. So we're just waiting for the shunter to get here to communicate that information so we can see how we can work it out. train was successfully offloaded. It was 17 wagons of Type 1. We're just doing a bit of work in the yard now to move the material around. We're trying to pile the Type 1 as high as possible, as we normally do, because the higher it is in the air, the more space we have on the ground. Liebherr, when they've been in the past few weeks, took oil samples from all of our kit, and the results have come back. The 566 is in desperate need of a service, and the 914 and the 926 also need services. I've requested a service kit. You know, I think it's simple like a lorry. I'm going to order a service kit. I'm going to get air, fuel, and oil filters. No, there's like 7 or 8 in the hydraulic system of the 926. The service kit for each of the Liebherrs is over £1,000. I spoke to my townie and we went through it all, and it is something we can do, and the machines do need it. I am going to upgrade the entire fleet, but the fact is, it's not going to happen this second, and I need to look after what I've got and ensure I have good machines for my trade-in as a deposit on the new kit, which I'm working on. Hopefully I'll be able to tell you more about the package soon. Whatever I do with new machines, I'm going to uniform the fleet. I want one manufacturer for machines, and I would like one manufacturer for trucks, but we're going to focus on machines for the time being. The time now is 3:53, back to back with meetings, and I'm doing one of them silly bugger things. You know, when you haven't slept and lack of sleep and you're trying to replace it with sugar, and you go up, then you go down, then you go up, then you go down, then you go up, then you go down, and your mood is all over the place. That's what's been happening. But currently, that's it for Wednesday. Wait, hold on. That ain't it for Wednesday. I've just realised Ben's on. They've actually got Ben in the machine on top of the Type 1. The roll-on, roll-off crane lorry must not be. Hello, Ben! How are we getting on? And now, that's it for Wednesday. Thursday morning, and I'm in the rainy yard. The time is 5:27 a.m. As the lads are getting in, I'm just doing a bit of a perimeter walk, and I have found something. Right, yes. Let's leave a ladder in place. How inconsistent. Why would we only give people a ladder to climb onto one office? My office. Why don't we give people a ladder to climb onto every office, including the training room as well? I mean, there's no consistency here. I think I'll put a couple more ladders up to help everyone scale the perimeter and get on top of the offices. In fact, no. Do you know what? I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to take the ladder down immediately, because I'm a spoil sport and I don't know how to have any fun. I'm the fun police. There we go. Much better. Regarding where our dummy train is going, we have a date from the track installer, week commencing the 28th of October. They're going to use the only remaining track we have, which is left over next to the secondary line, our sleepers left up the top, and some other sleepers which we collected the other day. That should be all they need. Oh yes, and our beautiful stoppers. We're on a concrete pour where we're discharging the C30 strength ready-mix concrete into an excavator bucket, which is then placing the concrete at various locations where required. This is not something that we normally do as it slows us down, but this is a long-standing client for whom we service multiple jobs, and this is one of the last pours on this project. Generally, we allow customers 10 minutes for every meter cube of concrete, and anything after that counts as waiting time and is chargeable. Yes, I flew out in the late afternoon. I've flown all the way to the other side of the world, where in this time zone it's 10 p.m, which means that in the UK it's 4 a.m, the time I would normally wake up. So I've technically been awake for 24 hours.
I've flown out with my good friend Dr. Tunde Okawale, who was rocking the Ashville Aggregates QPR gear. Click here to watch a video where I explain why I used to sponsor a football club. We're here to assess a business opportunity. I'm going to try and do it as quickly as I can. There'll be no merrymaking. It will be strictly business as soon as we're up in the morning, and I need to get up as early as possible so I can try to somewhat be in the same realms of the time zone in the UK, but it will be difficult because I haven't slept for 24 hours. But what can you do but push on? And that's it for Thursday.
It's Friday morning. I'm not in the yard. I'm in Mexico. And somebody called me a gringo. Not sure how I feel about that. I mean, they think I'm American. I have a meeting at 8 a.m. I'm just waiting for my contact to arrive. There's a hotel build behind me, and I have some discussions to have, which I can't say as of yet. I need them to develop a bit more because I'm beginning to feel like if I talk about something early, then I jinx it. Anyway, meanwhile, back at Ashville, work continues as always, and Luke is going out on another concrete pour.
Now, I know what you're going to say here. What's going on? You just said you don't normally do it, and here you are discharging into an excavated bucket again. But at the same time, we're discharging the C25 concrete directly into the areas prepared for the pads, so it doesn't slow us down at all. This is a hospital project where a new surgical unit is being built. In total, this job requires 200 cubic meters of concrete, and we're pouring 40 today. In order to get to this point, we've already successfully removed 40 loads of inert Mark on 8 before tippers and supplied shingle and recycled 6F5. We get a wash down with a jet wash as we leave the site to ensure we don't track any mud or debris onto the road, and it's back to the yard to get reloaded.
Meeting went well. Not exactly how I planned, but it's food for thought. I will update you on this in due course. But I was kind of thrown off in the meeting because I received a couple of pictures from Mark McCann. You know I'm a fan of the zombie apocalypse, and I've been trying to get my hands on a Hummer for a very long time. Mark has this ex-US Army military vehicle that looks like it's something straight out of Desert Storm. Mark and I are negotiating. He doesn't want to invoice me, and I definitely don't want to pay it. Trying to work out how we're going to do a value exchange where Ashville can provide a service and we can do something to offset against this vehicle so I can start my project, spray it black, have run flat wheels, grills all over the windows, couple steel panels on to make it indestructible. So when it all goes wrong, we can monster truck all of the zombies. I can go grab my mum and save a couple of my friends. Anyway, let's head back to the yard and see how Terry's getting on.
I'm just taking this time at the moment to download all the driver infringement forms as the CPC holder for the business and a designated transport manager. We have to download driver tacho cards every 7 days, which records all of their driving hours and their working time. And then lorry tacho heads have to be downloaded every 56 days. And then we upload that information onto software, and it analyzes all of the data that gets input, and will run a report for every driver in every vehicle. And that will tell us whether the driver has taken his designated tacho breaks on time, whether any of them laws have been breached. All of the reports get printed off whether there's an infringement or not. We have to keep them for 15 months for driver's hours, and we have to keep them for 2 years for working time. If there is an infringement, I bring the driver up, explain the infringement to them, explain how they need to avoid it in the future. Our drivers are pretty good. If they get an infringement, it's generally over 1 or 2 minutes over their driving time where they've been struggling to find somewhere to park for their break. I like to try and run them monthly, every 28 days, just to make sure that I can spot any trends that might be emerging, and that will allow me then to route lorries slightly differently around certain jobs. If I see that a particular group of drivers have been doing a job and they'd be picking up infringements by a couple of minutes, it allows me then to rearrange work schedules. I also then go on daily and do the PMI sheet. So PMI stands for Preventative Maintenance Inspection. They have to be done every 6 weeks by law. Scania and Volvo do all of our PMIs. The sheets get uploaded onto a portal. I print them off. I go through the sheets. If Volvos or Scanias have written that they've done any work that is covered under the maintenance contract, I just initial it, just to show that if anyone does look at the sheet, that I have read it and I understand what work has been done. The tipper bodies wouldn't be covered by Scania or Volvo. The volumetric mixer bodies wouldn't be covered. The cranes on the grabs wouldn't be covered because they're bodybuilder parts. We have to do the maintenance on them. If they've spotted anything on them body parts that need doing, and they haven't fixed them for us, I will then speak to the fitters and the maintenance team in the yard and make a plan for that. So then I just write that down. If I've ordered any parts for it, I get the invoices for the parts, staple it to the back of the PMI sheet and put that into the vehicle folder. They have to be kept for a minimum of 15 months as well. So it covers 2 full MOTs, just taking the time to make sure all the paperwork's up to date. A bit of a stickler for it. I don't like to let it get away from me. That's what I'm doing currently.
Sunday weekly. Hola amigos.
It's Saturday, and we're not in the yard. Sunday's the one who introduced me to this business opportunity, but what he didn't tell me is that it'll be raining and people will be calling me gringo.
No, they're calling him Dwayne Johnson.
We're looking at another site this morning. We're trapped
In the rain.
This drives the price down when it's raining like this, but there was a nice truck I was looking around. It wasn't an 8x4 chassis. It was slightly different configuration. They didn't have any boards on the side. Had a quick look at the suspension, around the fuel tank. It was manual, and it was one of the vintage ones. Belongs in a museum. I was going to jump in it and drive it, but the gentleman, he wasn't encouraging that kind of behavior. Someone in Mexico has got to let me behind the wheel of one of their trucks. Meanwhile, back in the yard, we're refueling all of the tippers. We're cleaning the rubbish out the cabs. We're loading for Monday morning. And now I'm going to hand over to Terry.
Saturday, and we're in the yard. Just doing a bit of maintenance this morning on all the lorries, checking the wheel nuts, greasing everything, all of the moving parts on all of the plant. When all the maintenance is done, we're just going to go back into the old yard, plot 3s and 5s, scraping up the yard. We're still trying to get out of them, so we need to make sure that that's all clean and tidy and ready to go to hand back to the old landlord. The Saturdays are absolutely essential for making sure you're ready for the next week. Just double checking jobs, make sure they're ready. If you don't do that on a Saturday, Monday morning is a complete disaster. We've got a lot of driver holidays at the moment with the people that don't have children. During July, August, September, you have the people that have children going away. And this is also our busy period for MOTs because a lot of our lorries came from September, October, November back in 2019. We have to juggle it a lot. We often have 2 drivers sat in lorries because we can't leave a man at home because his lorry's gone for MOT. That's not his fault. Well, I'm back en route in the lorries, trying to make that as efficient as possible. Gain a little bit of control on the business again. Me and Danny had a little chat a while ago. Got away from us a little bit, I think. And that is it for Ashville Weekly 208. Click here for the Ashville website. Click here to subscribe to our channel. Click here to see last week's episode, which is number 207. And click here to see an episode you may not have seen before. And as Daniel would say, one take.
Who's that? That's not hit record.
Are you